computer.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julianne, and I'm here today with Francesca, and we are here to talk about taxes, which is, for me, it's a really fun topic. And Francesca and I have been discussing how this isn't such a fun topic for a lot of people. So we thought we would come on here today and discuss how we can make it fun for you and actually show you how to organize your taxes, better plan for the future, and maximize on deductions. And we're going to go through some specifics on that. So, as I say, I get super excited about taxes. And for me, I know that's not normal. That's just part of my my paradigm, my upbringing, because tax season I always thought was so fun as a kid because my parents always got a tax return. And I didn't know as a kid why or anything like that. I just knew we got tax returns and it meant that we got to go on fun family trips or buy new furniture or whatever it was. So as I got older and had to start doing my own taxes, this was something really important to me that like I would speak to my dad and be like, what do I need to do to get a return like you?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because my dad tells me now that it wasn't all exactly how I remember. And I'm just going to hold on to the good of tax season is
I
fun
love it.
and it brings good things. So Francesca, I'm going to pass it over to you. Why don't you tell us more about your background and then we'll jump into some numbers to help people out here.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking me to join you today. So, my name is Francesca Ray, and I am a certified financial planner. I've been in the business 20 years. I celebrate this year. I'm super excited about that. And one of the things that I do work with my clients is a little bit with taxes, but it's only like 1/6 of what I do. And I am not the expert. I do have working knowledge on how to excuse me, oh my goodness, how to maximize your taxes, right? How to get some money back or how to save for the future for taxes, and get them prepared. And, I do the phone call saying, hey, we need to meet. It's almost the end of February. There's RRSP contribution time. Where do we sit? Where are you at? And I can do some dummy tax returns for them. But obviously their accountant is the key person to go to because their situation would be very different than perhaps what I was playing with on a computer screen. So I do enjoy it as well. I work with many different people being self-employed and employed. And I think that's sort of where we're trying to come from today is talk to those people first who are self-employed. How does it look? What are some tips and ideas for them? And then if you are employed, how it's almost fairly the same, with some ideas on how they can have more money back in their pocket and not give it to the government.
Awesome. So what are some of the main deductions or benefits that you want to bring to our attention today?
Right. There is less and less deductions out there. We used to have some really good ones in the past, but really the key ones are RRSP contributions. So registered retirement savings plans. If you're in Canada, if you're in the US, I'm not 100% sure what goes on there. That's the main one. And then there's now a new first home savings account. So if you have never purchased a house and you're looking to do so, that is also a deduction on your income taxes. So a great strategy for those people looking to buy houses. If you're employed, there's a whole slew of expenses that you can deduct from your business. And the other thing we were talking about coaching fees, right? So working with a coach is also something that you can deduct on your income taxes. Then there's the credits. So a credit is just you get a certain percent back from the taxes that you've already paid. So donations, medical, and political can also be there as well. So every situation is different, but those are the main ones here in Canada that we're dealing with.
So if anyone is wondering what does it mean? Like what are we saying when we talk about donations? We're saying, like, for myself, I have donations that go out to the local food bank.
Yes.
I give money to my local church. And over a certain amount, it's usually like $20 is the minimum. Over that, if it's a registered charity, you'll get a tax receipt. and that can be claimed on your taxes. And as Francesca said, political as well. So if you donate to your local municipality or federal government, you'll get a return. So, or sorry, a
Credit.
receipt that you can
Yeah.
credit on your taxes. So I love that. And
Well, medical too, that a lot of people are not
yes,
familiar with. So it's medical anything that your benefit plan is not covering. So some benefit plans cover 100%. You cannot use those. If there's a fraction of that, let's say 20 or 50% that you have to pay out of pocket, that's what you can use. Or if you're self-employed, it's all of it that you're able to deduct on your income taxes.
yeah, which is great. So, and then we mentioned professional fees. So that's coaching fees, any courses you take. So online courses you sign up for, whether it be a self-study and or investing in a coach. And this is for me, this has been a big one. So I am employed. I receive a T4 at the end of the year, and this has made a big difference on my taxes. So should we jump in, Francesca, and you show us your
Absolutely.
screen? And
Absolutely. And the other thing to preface too, so working with women is sort of my target market. Numbers are scary. And so I want to change that paradigm because numbers are not scary if you're in the right place and right frame of mind. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now with this conversation, just take a few minutes out, meditate, just kind of get in a place of calm so that you can look at this. Because taxes can be a place where people procrastinate the most. So I'd like to make sure that women are prepared, that are comfortable with numbers. So we're going to keep this simple. We're not going to go into great detail, but we're just going to provide a couple of examples of how this works, right?
yeah,
So
and
I
I want to just add there, Francesca. So you mentioned that you like to meet with your clients or you call your clients in February to talk about their taxes. So this is a really good reminder. And I'm sure people hear things. If you go into your bank, there's signs all over the bank remind you of the deadline for RRSPs. So that's something. So the deadline is you have until the end of February to add any additional to your RRSPs.
correct,
Now that's different. So of course you can speak to your accountant, but the details, it's different for the first home savings account. That's in December. And
correct,
also for donations, it's in December. So these are
correct.
things that I actually have on my calendar. And I make sure I'm like reminded of these things before the deadline. And what we're going to go through now with Francesca is like you can do like kind of a fake or a
Tax
trial
return, yeah.
run of a tax return. You don't have to file it, but you can input the numbers, even if they're somewhat like if they're not exact. Like I don't usually have my T4 by the like right at the end of February, and I'm trying to figure out, do I need to put so, and I have a general idea from my pay stubs
Yeah,
of what
yeah,
I
yeah.
pay.
I always say too, like if you're employed, let's take your last pay slip. It's not 100% accurate, but it's an idea of where you're at.
Yeah.
If you're self-employed, hopefully you're organized throughout the whole year. Doesn't always mean that you are, but try and get organized. At Christmas time is always my time to add up all my receipts, get myself organized on my spreadsheet, and then I go to my accountant either in January, February, and say, here's what I've got so far. Can we do a dummy tax return and see what do I need to do? Where do I sit? And so you're not scrambling last minute to connect with your accountant and or your financial advisor. So
Yeah.
some
My
great
dad
tips
and I
there.
like to call this, I was going to say Russian roulette. No, tax roulette. Because I like to play with the numbers and be like, okay, so if I add this much more into my investments, what is my return? And we play with the numbers. So we're going to go through this. And another thing is some people might say, well, okay, it shows that I can get a return if I put $5,000 into RSPs and I don't have RSPs or sorry, or
Right.
I don't have the money to put
The
in. I don't have
cash.
$5,000.
Right.
So that is another thing you can speak to your financial advisor about. There are
The,
such things as RSP loans,
correct. Yes.
which you could get that, put it in your RSPs, get your tax return, pay off the loan. So there are some
Exactly.
fun little things. That's why I call it tax roulette to
Yes.
do here.
Yes. No, that's good, 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 good advice. So with the scenario, and we're not going to go through great detail, we're just assuming the self-employed individual. So gross sales and commission are 300,000. I'm going to scroll down here. We're not going to go through all the numbers, but there's a few expenses. So advertising, meal expense, entertainment, office, and then an assistant. So salaried assistant is here. And just again, lump summing the expenses. So 300,000 is this person's income, gross commissions and expenses, including the assistants, about 200,000. But then when you're also self-employed, you may be having to pay quarterly installments on income taxes. So getting onto the scenario, I've added in RSP contributions for this particular individual, about $5,000. So we're just going to play with that for today. And then there was tax installments. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 38,000 is what they had to pay every quarter to the government. So in this scenario, this particular person, I go to review, is going to be getting about $4,400 back. So not bad, right? So makes 300, put taxes away, and then there's a tax refund. But what I didn't include in there were the coaching fees, right? So let's just show what that scenario looks like. So we're going to go back to the expense line. And I'm going to add in, again, my estimate is somewhere around 36,000, right? Depending on what kind of coach you're working with, or professional fees. That's in the system. And now this individual is going to get a refund of 16,000.
Wow.
So huge difference in refund, in knowing that you're investing in yourself, and it also helps with your investment on the tax season time, right? So now I've got $16,000. It almost probably paid itself to a certain extent, depending on what kind of fees you're
Well,
paying.
look at the ROI on that. Like you are benefiting yourself, your business, and then now you're getting a refund. You could reinvest that into yourself again for the next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So a great idea, great little tool to help with that. And I've, without doing some different numbers, it also works for employed individuals too, right? So you make 150,000, you pay your taxes that you should, and then again, it's refunds coming back to you because it's reducing your income by the amount of expenses that you're claiming, right? So
Yeah.
you make 150,000, your fees for your coaching were 25,000. Now on paper, you made 125,000 and you overpaid on income taxes because you had it taken off as if you made 150.
Right.
So really great idea to then get a tax refund.
Awesome. So, Francesca, what if we looked at the numbers for someone around the $150,000
Okay.
range? Can we do that?
Yeah, I can see how this works. It's not allowing me to do this while I'm recording.
Okay, so well, and that's okay. So we can. My point is just like I'm not self-employed. I'm an employee. I receive a T4, and this works the same way. So if we throw in a number, let's say 120,000 income, I've paid. I'm just making up numbers, $40,000 in tax
Yeah.
because I'm in that higher tax bracket. And then, I can put money into RSP or for the first home savings account, and I can still do those professional fees, whether it's
Yes.
coaching or like online or in person, and professional fees could be like hiring an accounting coach, hiring a mindset coach, hiring like anything all of these things are going to help you. Therefore, they're going to help your business
Absolutely.
or your job. So
Absolutely.
makes a huge difference. So what would you suggest, Francesca? Like if I have not, perhaps I've never done this pre-planning and, we're coming up to the end of the month and I'm filing my taxes and I'm realizing, oh, I missed the RSP deadline. I missed the donation deadline. So how do I plan better for next year?
Right. So I suggest to people that, let's again use a self-employed individual, that you need to set up savings accounts or accounts where your money automatically goes there. So you get paid income taxes first thing. Usually I say 30% of your income goes into a tax account. If you collect HST, goes into an HST account. If you need things for coaching fees or RSP contributions, first home savings, everything should be automated going into those accounts. And don't touch it. Just let it go. So what you have left over is what you spend. And that's a challenge for people at the beginning, but it takes a few months to get used to that. And you may find, or you will find, you're going to be spending what you have left over. And then that a tax account has been accumulating, or you've got enough to pay your quarterly installments. You've got money going into your RSPs and first home savings accounts. And it's just an automatic thing that you do. And donations, right? They're more than happy to take a donation every month from you. And before you know it, you've got a tax refund and you're like, oh wow. And it was just automated. You didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, totally. And there's different ways that you can set that up. So it could be automatically for myself. I have my investments automatically. It just goes out of my account monthly like a bill. So it's in my account. I just know this money is going. And in order to stop it, I'd have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. Like it's more work for me to stop any of those. So it's just automatic. Or you can set up like what you're saying about putting the money aside to pay your HST income tax. So with my husband, I help him, and we, like you said, just have separate accounts. So
Yes.
when we're doing his books at the end of the month, I'm like, make sure you have X amount of money in these accounts. Those are your untouchable accounts.
Yes.
So
Love
that
that
when
word.
tax season comes, there's no surprise.
No surprise.
I explained to him just a couple weeks ago, I'm like, you were just holding on to that for the government. It was never yours. So let's be grateful that we have it. And then, yeah, as you say, for donations, you can set those up on monthly payments, whether it's with the hospital or a food bank. It can be set up where
Yes,
it goes out automatically, and even small amounts make a big difference. So, or monthly
absolutely.
fees for coaching. Lots of coaches have monthly fees, so it doesn't need to be a lump sum. It's just automated from your bank account. So
The other
that's
thing I've been telling people too is just get a money date going. Have a money date with yourself, right? Like, even if you are employed, have a money date. Be your own CFO of your finances. Take control of it. And every week I meet with myself on Friday morning and I go over, okay, what's outstanding that I haven't touched or been taken care of? What do I want to do? What's coming from my business? Where is it going to go? Like, I've already got those automations, but what else is there that I could do? And even just sit back and say, like, okay, what's next? Like, what's my next thing that I want to work on? Like, I'm planning an event in June for my clients. So, I've got to start. I should have set the money aside, right? So I haven't talked to myself, but I know it's coming. So it's here. I just need to make sure it's set aside and it's geared for what I want to do. Or a vacation. Like, if you're employed, then do the same thing with your expenses. Like, have a vacation fund if that's important to you. Have a emergency reserve, which again, a lot of Canadians are not getting set up. Have a, oh my gosh, what happens if the car or house needs something account, and just set those things again automatic, and so they're set aside, and at the end of the day you spend what's left over, and you become aware of where you're spending your money and
Mhm.
become more conscious of what you want to spend your money on, like what is important. If I only have this, then okay, maybe I'm only doing takeout once a week and not 5 times a week. So yeah, there's a lot of work up front, but once you get the ball rolling, like any habit, it's like it just it's easy.
Yeah, totally. And it can be fun. I promise you, it can be fun.
Yes, yes, money date with the coffee that you love at a favorite coffee shop, or glass of wine with your partner, not in the morning, but if you want to have a chat and talk every week about this, I think it just goes such a long, long, long way in the end.
Yeah. And if you need support, I highly recommend that you reach out to someone like Francesca.
Mhm.
Um, we can put some links of where you can follow her to get support. And a reminder that we're not giving tax advice here. We're not accountants. So please reach out to your accountant for the specifics on your income, your business. We just want to put together some tips today to kind of bring some things top of mind. And it will vary whether you live in Canada or the US. There's different terms. You might have more things you can tap into for discounts and things. So important to start planning ahead and get that support if you need and have fun
Absolutely.
with it.
And don't worry about the past. Just look forward, move forward, and lean into numbers because they are fun. They can be fun. And yeah, can make your life a lot easier if you really just sit down and be honest and open with what you're doing and set up great habits.
Love it. And I always say, expect the refund.
Expect the refund. I love that. That's my new mantra now.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Francesca. This was so good. And I know it will be of value to many people. Um,
Yes.
so have a wonderful day.
And happy tax planning. Thank you. You
Yes.
too.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.